Good evening. I'm Sierra Williams. Welcome to COVID Corner. Humans are constantly searching for answers as it is in our nature to be curious. We live in the golden age of information where we can pose questions to an empty room and receive thousands of responses in the blink of an eye. This ease of information spreading served as a double-edged sword with the emergence of the pandemic. Scientists could share research with each other without needing to wait for the lengthy publication process, but some could use the same tools to spread fear, hate, and prejudice. Misinfodemics, which refers to false or misleading information about COVID-19, has spread from our screens to the streets. Misinfodemics has played a role in the alarming rise in anti-Asian violence, non-compliance with COVID restrictions, and dozens of accidental deaths in attempts to ward off the virus. While vaccines may protect us against contracting COVID-19, they will not inoculate us against the epidemic of misinformation. That is why I wanted to dedicate 2 segments to debunking popular conspiracy theories surrounding COVID-19. Tonight, I'll cover everything from the origins of the virus to the use of vitamin D as a prevention method. The only common thread between all of these theories is that none of them are true and all of them are dangerous. There are more conspiracy theories about COVID-19 than I have time to cover in the 2 segments, but I think it's important to start at the beginning with the origin of the virus. Many of these conspiracy theories contain xenophobic and racist undertones that have culminated in a rise in anti-Asian violence. Such baseless theories propose the virus was created by China as a potential bioweapon to use against the Western world, or that it somehow escaped from a lab. According to a 2020 International Sociology paper, quote, governments have introduced a policy of blame shifting by launching their power rivalry statements revolving around illogical reasoning and a narrative of national immunity towards COVID-19, unquote. We are not entirely certain of how COVID-19 originated, although there is strong evidence for human-to-bat transmission through the use of an intermediate host, which is essentially an additional host where the virus may acquire new traits. Like a game of telephone, the more people you play with, the higher the chance is that the end result is not what you started with. Given that there is not a lot of human-bat contact, an intermediate host is likely. Some evidence points to the pangolin, a dinosaur-looking mammal that also happens to be the most trafficked animal in the world due to the belief that its scales can cure disease. So it's safe to say COVID-19 wasn't man-made in a lab, but some believe it may be an indirect result of 5G technology. It is unclear whether this hoax was started to discredit the Chinese 5G manufacturing giant Huawei or simply due to the fear of the new technology. However, this conspiracy has little basis in fact, particularly because 5G does not exist worldwide, nor does its frequency have the capability of penetrating solid objects. According to a 2020 study in the British Journal of Social Psychology, those who subscribe to this belief are more likely to commit arson against 5G telecommunication towers, demonstrating the potential violent outcomes of COVID conspiracy beliefs. Adhering to CDC guidelines and receiving one of the approved vaccines when you are eligible is the only way to stop the spread of COVID-19. However, that hasn't deterred a mass of conspiracy theories about miracle cures and easy ways to prevent yourself from getting COVID. Some of these, while untrue, are relatively benign. For instance, it's been suggested that vitamin D can prevent COVID-19 infection. While taking additional vitamin D is not harmful, assuming the levels are not excessive, there is no evidence vitamin D impacts the likelihood of COVID-19 infection. Other faux treatments that can have deadly consequences include UV radiation, spraying chlorine or bleach on your body, inhaling chlorine or bleach, or drinking alcohol. Now, many of these theories have already lost traction, but I want to emphasize several points. First, UVA and UVB found in sunlight and tanning beds are not effective at killing the virus. Only UVC, which is not found in either and is extremely harmful to human skin and eyes, can properly sanitize infected surfaces. Bleach and chlorine are effective at killing the virus, but are equally effective at harming your skin. Your skin serves as a barrier against invading pathogens like COVID-19, so any abrasions, like those caused by spraying yourself with bleach, are like neon arrows directing the virus where to enter. Alcohol can be effective when used on surfaces as a decontaminant, but the strength needed to be effective is fairly high. The CDC recommends 60 to 90% alcohol by volume, which is a lot more than your liquor store tequila. Naturally, drinking such a strong proof would not only be dangerous, it would be ineffective at killing the virus. This is so dangerous, it led to the deaths of 44 people in Iran following the consumption of bootleg alcohol because they believed it would keep them safe. The spread of misinfodemics and conspiracy theories is an additional crisis unto itself. Last February, the Director General of the World Health Organization stated that, quote, "We are not just fighting an epidemic, we are fighting an infodemic," unquote. The death toll of the pandemic does not account for those who fell victim to false treatments, like individuals who overdosed on chloroquine in Nigeria after it was rumored to be a miracle cure, or those targeted because of unfounded racist conspiracy theories. The threat of these conspiracy theories is very real. Numerous studies demonstrate believers are less likely to adhere to social distancing, lockdown restrictions, trust scientists, and more likely to resort to violence. This pandemic has allowed these theories to wedge their way into mainstream culture, wreaking havoc on public health. You can do your part to stop the spread of misinfodemics and conspiracy theories by fact-checking information on social media before sharing, calling out false or misleading information, and promoting the spread of accurate information. If you're not sure what sources are credible, you can always trust .gov websites like the Centers for Disease Control and the National Institute of Health. Additionally, the World Health Organization has an entire page dedicated to myth-busting. As of Thursday, the total number of cumulative cases in Oklahoma was 439,000 cases, with 4,953 deaths. In Payne County, there are 8,571 cumulative cases, with 52 cumulative deaths. In the US, there are 30.6 million cumulative cases and 553,000 deaths. However, there is light at the end of the tunnel because the current vaccination counts indicate that 31.43% of Americans have received one dose of the vaccine and 18.47% are fully vaccinated, and numbers are on the rise. That's all tonight, but join me next week for the second half of the COVID-19 conspiracy theories, vaccines, and pharmaceuticals. Stay safe, stay informed. For the Daily O, I'm Sierra Williams.